just don't know. I don't know. I'm looking, yeah.
Marc Clarke, that's classic. I love it.
Is that delicious beverage?
Duh.
Preparing students to demonstrate mastery of math state standards can feel like a dull, unending cycle of equations and practice problems. Unengaged, frustrated students can weigh on teacher confidence and lead to uncertainty about overall achievement. Two Ivy League-trained engineers observed this struggle and created a way to transform how students learn the fundamentals of math. Through the innovative Accoletics math program, EDA has helped more than 400,000 students achieve success on state-administered math tests and transformed the academic strategies and performance of schools nationwide. Accoletics' uniquely designed supplemental materials and tools are well aligned to your state standards and provide a clear path to exceed state proficiency standards. Through ongoing professional development, you will uncover common challenges and activate solutions that promise to improve student achievement in your school. By partnering with EDA and choosing Accoletics, you can start to see an unprecedented return on your investment in as little as one school year. Don't procrastinate on giving your teachers the tools to help students achieve their highest math potential. To learn how you can dramatically improve classroom instruction and learning, test scores, and student confidence, call, email, or visit Accoletics online today.
And welcome to the show. What is going on? Happy Friday. It's the weekend, baby. Yes. Yes, the weekend is upon us. And so glad it is here. What's going on? I see you, Lynn. Nana Lynn, you should be expecting a package this week. Let me know when you get it. I got something for Lyric. I got something for little Lyric. What's up, Mark? I see you out there. What's going on, Mark? Appreciate you. Jarrell in the building. And if you guys want to hop on, ladies, we might need some ladies. What's up, cuz? Miranda's here. I'll send you the link. We're talking fashion today. And we're going to have on one of my favorite fashion people. It is Friday, just to look back at the week. It's been crazy. You know what? I missed this week on the 1st. Harry Belafonte, y'all. Harry Belafonte had his 95th birthday. Okay? Got to shout out him. Ron Howard had a birthday this week. Don Lemon, 56, had a birthday this week. Lupita Nyong'o had a birthday this week. She's 39. Justin Bieber had a birthday this week. What's going on, Sandra? I see you. A quarter of people over the age of 65 are not online. So somebody tell Big Mama and them to get online, because that's where everybody is. Today we're talking fashion. And again, one of my favorite fashion people, I've known Brian forever. I just learned something new about Brian today. I did not know. Brian, aka the Green-Eyed Bandit, joins us. Brian the Tailor. Collins joins us. What's up, Brian? How you doing, B?
Hey, what's going on, people? How y'all feeling today?
So, Brian, we're talking fashion. I thought about fashion. I thought about you. It's so funny. My wife was like, our daughter was trying to wear her sister's dress, and she's like, "Oh, it's nobody. It's so expensive." Blah 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 blah. I said, "I know who to call, Brian." And actually, Brian, you were busy at the time, but and so I said, you know what? I always wanted to talk to you about fashion. So here we are. We got a show featuring you, Brian. And who knew that Brian was a little? Who knew Brian? So as I know, Brian is when you go. You know how you go, the dude with the flyest clothes, with the hottest outfits. Plus, Brian got green eyes. Plus, Brian knows everybody. Little did I know that Brian was a little shy. Who knew? So, Brian, I didn't mean to blow up your spot, but I did. So you're a little bit shy. But at the end of the day,
very much
you also are is you're a very good tailor, and you're all in. And Brian, one of my biggest regrets was my mother was a seamstress, and my biggest regret, Brian, one of my biggest regrets was I didn't take the time. I mean, I cut patterns, that extra step just to hop on in. She had me as her slave labor, but I did not take advantage of it because, the big and tall men's box, that could have been millions. And then just even fashion in general. Right. And so, you know what, Brian, do you do custom men's suits?
That's where I started. I started on men's clothing first.
And so it's interesting. We were talking off there. You said you kind of segued into is demand more for women, or is it hard to get the price point for guys? Or what made you hop out? Because it seems like there would be a big need for designer, custom suits for big guys.
To be totally honest, I actually spent years, like my first 20 years, I was like, I'm never doing women's clothes. I don't want to do it. And then somebody said, you need to start doing proms. And honestly, that prom money looked pretty good. So that's why I transitioned from a menswear designer to a tailor.
and it's a little bit less work.
Women get yes and no. Tailoring a suit is more technical than a woman's dress, but women come back more often than men. If a man get a black suit, he's going to have that black suit for 10 years.
Amen.
But women got to have a new dress every show, every concert, every party, every Friday night, every wedding. So women are more lucrative than men, sad to say.
Wow. And, so it's funny, Brian, because you've seen me through my ups and downs of weight. I think we talked about that years ago.
Weight.
Yeah. I've seen you. You're looking great these days.
Thank you, sir.
And I always, I think something about Brian, you always have gave love to your family, and you mentioned your grandfather, your father, and it always resonates. I think because as you see this picture over here, that's my grandfather right there. As you can see, Brian, we look very similar, including the glasses. But I think what connected Brian was obviously when you're raised into a family that connection, man, that connection is big. A lot of us just don't have that, right? A lot of us do not have it. No. And because those voices, man, they were so great at telling you stuff. If it's about life, if it's about fashion, if it's about women, if it's about just in general, just their presence, hearing that presence. My father wasn't a part of my life, but my uncle, who was my great uncle, was in the 80s. He was. And so, Brian, let's start with fashion and your grandfather. I think I actually have a shot. I stole this from your, I stalk you on social media. So I think I stole this picture, bam! Tell us about is that your grandfather, Brian, or your dad?
That's actually my dad. That's my father.
Bam!
That's my father.
Don't try nothing, boy. The seersucker suit, the hat, that ain't playing.
And guess what? He did that all on his own. I had no parts of that outfit whatsoever. Bam! The only thing I did buy him that hat I bought him that hat for his birthday, but he put everything together on his own. I had no. It's just in the family.
Brian, just based on that face, I don't think you can tell your dad nothing about no clothes. But is that true?
No, not at all. Not at all.
And so not at all. It started with grandpa and then dad. So you had two generations already?
Actually, yeah, my grandfather was actually a tailor also. He played the organ at church. He was and he was a tailor. And I didn't know my grandfather. He died when I was like 5 or 6. But he was a tailor from what I understand. And some of the pictures I saw, he was always clean. And it just got handed down, suits and slacks all day long, and hats and the thin stockings, the little hosiery Ben used to wear. That was my grandfather. So
Brian,
I guess I get it honestly.
We're gonna run through some eras, man, and just get your take. So I found this is Allison's mom and her parent, her grandparents. Bam, 50s. The part about
the 50s,
40s, 50s that I thought is interesting is how like the style just as we talked about this, it just kind of lives forever, right? You could wear that same the same outfits. You could wear that. You could wear that now. It's back, right?
You're absolutely right. Yes. Did you notice where he wore his pants?
He didn't have them sagging, man.
That is the proper way to wear your trousers, man. That is the proper way.
Okay, Brian. So the proper way is right below your belly button. Is that the proper way?
Right below your belly button. Correct. Not under your stomach, not hanging around your butt cheeks. Right below your belly button. That is the proper way to wear your slacks, gentlemen.
And so, Brian, it's interesting. Like the 50s style seems to kind of, I get maybe because it was kind of conservative, it kind of just lives through whatever you're going through, right? Versus the 70s. This is Allison's parents. Bow. Now the 70s, a little different.
We were coming into our own, man. The afros, the tight pants, the dashikis. We were coming into our own. We found out who we were in the 70s,
And actually, I guess at the end of the day, Brian, it does kind of, you could still rock all this too, actually, right?
Yeah, because it's called retro now. Everything is coming back. Afros and silk shirts, everything is back now. Everything is back. Skinny pants. Ugh. Those skinny jeans.
Brian, I'm a little older than you, but I remember the 80s. And so
I remember the 80s. Punk rock.
80s, 80s. Madonna was definitely the 80s. You had the little, I guess, the bustiers. This is still around too, because now it almost is the same. You throw a couple body piercings and she's right. It's the same thing, right?
Yeah. You take the lace gloves off and you can wear it today.
Me and Allison,
because everything
together,
she has on outside of the hair, it's basically to wear it today. Throw a pair of Christian Louboutins on, you good to go.
Yes, skinny jeans and jeggings. So then me and Allison met in the 90s.
Don't talk about it.
Me and Allison, we had a little photo shoot. We did a black and white simple. That's just standard, right? It's so standard.
That's classic.
Classic.
That's a classic.
And then 2000s.
Now, outside of the white shoes and the big heels, that's an outfit for today.
It's an outfit for today.
It is. Everything's coming back.
It's so funny. When me and Allison met, Allison had those abs like that. And I remember we were out and I was like, yo, I saw this like animal. It was like an animal skin, like some type of whatever, leather or something. And she's like, she was like, she could wear it, but she's like, nah, I'm not doing, I'm not going to do that. And then it's funny, after she had the kids, she was like, I wish you had bought that outfit back then. It was like, Brian, nobody told us that little moment in time is so brief, did they? That moment in time when you could wear those outfits, Brian.
I wish I can go back, man. I would do it all over again.
What would you do different fashion-wise, Brian?
Honestly, probably nothing.
Yeah, see?
Probably nothing. I mean, I like the fashion. It was just what it was when it was. Outside the really, really, really baggy jeans, the cross colors and stuff like that. Other than that, I'm fine with it. And these skinny jeans now. Not a good look.
Brian.
Especially for a big guy.
Oh my God. No, come on now. Come on. You got skinny jeans and sagging and you got a fat ass and you're a man? Oh no, come on. That do not go together. And I got one
not
for you,
at
Brian.
all.
Now I've been guilty of not sagging. I've been guilty of the untuck. And I look back at the pictures and I'm like, when you have a gut and you tuck in, it kind of looks interesting. But then when you untuck, so grade me on this. One of my favorite artists, you know, I had my little favorite shirt on. I went with the untuck, Brian. Was I in violation or was this acceptable?
That was acceptable. Casual, it's acceptable.
Okay.
Yeah, wearing your shirt out, it's acceptable.
Maybe it was a little long, but other than that, it was okay. That was my favorite shirt, man. But I was just
little long, but it's acceptable especially for a big guy. You know, you can wear your shirt out your pants all the time.
We get a little
yeah.
So you're not a fan of the big guy tuck in, Brian?
Actually, yeah, I am. I tuck everything in. I'm always tucked in, so that's just my thing, you know. But a lot of big guys can't do it. A lot of big guys feel self-conscious about, you know, tucking their shirt tails in because they wear their pants under their stomach. So then you have that big bubble instead of your pants up where they're supposed to be, hiding that gut.
Oh, so you could have the pants up higher and not deal with see? You see? So matter of fact, let's look at some of Brian's stuff. Bow! What you know about this right here? Brian, did you make this outfit or you put it together? What'd you do?
Yeah, I made that for a hat party we went to early this year. Actually, I made those pants like an hour and a half before I had to go to the event.
Man,
the pants and the hat, I made like an hour and a half before I had to walk out the door.
Bow! Wait a minute, Brian. You made the damn hat? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I made the hat.
I mean,
I made the hat.
Wow.
Well, I bought a blanket and then I decorated it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I made the hat. But I've always tucked my shirt in. You know, I've always tucked, even when I was 425 pounds, I always tucked in. See that waistline? I always tucked it in.
See, that's good to know. The proper waistline is up high. A lot of people, we think that's old school, but that is the proper waistline, right?
That's the proper way. And that's why it's old school, because it was proper.
Wow.
Old school is proper. New way, the new school is whatever you want to do.
And so, Brian, you were saying you you started off in the men's box, but now you do a lot of clothes for special events for women. You do dresses. You posted this. I thought this was cool. So you saw Anthony had that custom jacket. And you were saying, ladies, hit me up if you want to do something like that, or guys, either way, right?
Yes. That was actually a picture I got from a fabric store. They had that exact same fabric that Anthony Hamilton wore. And I actually made a blazer out of it for one of my clients, but I couldn't post it because he didn't want me to post it. So,
man, that's cold, man. So needless to say, Brian, I need to holler at you. So you still are doing men's jacket. You still doing men's jackets and stuff?
Every day, all day.
Wow. Okay, so
I'm actually great transition into prom season now. So I'm gonna do a lot of skirts. I got a lot of prom tuxes to do for the young men. So that's what I'm actually working on now. Some tuxedos for proms.
Brian,
the ones that are gonna have them.
What's the turnaround for? I mean, selfish now. What's the turnaround for a man's suit?
Suit 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay, well, damn,
depending on the fabric availability.
Okay.
Depending on fabric availability is 2 to 3 weeks. Once I have the fabric in my hand, about 2 to 3 weeks.
And so, Brian, if we find a fabric we love, can we bring it to you?
Yes, sir. I would prefer you to bring me the fabric because I hate shopping for fabric.
And again, I'm being selfish, Brian. So for me, how much fabric do you need for a whole suit?
What size chest are you? About a 46, 48?
Yeah, probably 50, 52, probably.
About 50? 4.5 to 5 yards, depending on fabric.
Love it. I love it.
Are you writing this down?
I'm writing it down now. 4.5, 5 yards, Brian.
Yeah, 4.5, 5 yards.
Yeah, man.
If it has any kind of if it has a texture to it, like pinstripes or plaids or lines that have to match up, 5 yards.
Look at that. Right now, why go to Japan when you got Brian right here?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I can't beat Japan prices.
So, Brian, I'm going through some of the stuff you posted just to get your take. So, this right here, Brian, is this you? Is this your work?
Yes, I made that for a little girl for a photo shoot. She saw the picture in the ad and she wanted to reproduce it, and she brought me the picture, and that's what I did for the picture. The picture should be next to it. Wow. The original. And that's what I did from the picture.
Man, so Brian, not everybody can do that. It's a gift, huh? Is it the vision you've always had?
Yeah, it was kind of instilled in me. I guess I kind of grew up with it. My aunt was a tailor, my grandfather was a tailor, my mother sewed. So I guess it's kind of in the bloodline. So I never went to school for it. I never was formally trained, never been sat under anybody or anything like that. So it's a God-given gift.
Wow. And so, Brian, this is just something that you liked. And I posted it because, number one, it's fine. She's fine as hell. But also because I was curious about what you liked about. Bow! What'd you like about that?
I don't think it had too much to do with the clothes because it's not too much clothes there. It was just a nice silhouette.
Bow! Yes, the silhouette was killing it. And so, Brian,
nice silhouette.
That type of outfit, when the stars go, they're obviously not paying for the fabric. They're paying for the vision of the designer. Is that what's happening when you see they paid, $1.2 million for the Tom Ford or for the whatever?
Yeah.
And then you posted this, Brian.
Yes.
You said you made this for somebody, right?
Yeah, I've actually made those for one of my clients. She's a fashionista, I guess, if that's what you want to call her. And she wanted those pants, so I made those for her. It's like a skirt with a wide leg pants under it.
It is interesting because you're right. It does have actually both the skirt. If she stands with her legs together, it probably looks like a skirt, I guess.
Right.
Wow. Okay. And then also, Brian, what I think is interesting is a lot of guys that are into the classic, I guess, tailoring, and I know with you, your style, a lot of times it's more classic, but you also like contemporary, and you make hot contemporary stuff like this. Bow! Wait a minute, you ain't ready for that. You ain't ready for that.
I knew you was gonna pull it
up. So you actually made this for someone. So Brian, you actually, have you noticed that some guys have a great eye for formal? They're not really that good with the casual. You're all mixed in. Is that just because of your age? You think probably because you're the hip hop box. You're from major city. And you got the influence of your family. Is that just your personal, how did you
I guess it's pretty much through life because I grew up in church, so I get a lot of my church styling, my suitings from, just going to church every Sunday, just dressing up for church. And then as I got older, started hit the streets and, club scenes. And so I started seeing the club clothes and I just put it all together,
Yeah, man, that jacket is fire.
Just make it work,
Is that still available if people who want to order from you?
Yes, I can still make that. I tapped into my Dapper Dan at that point.
Brian, and speaking of Dapper Dan, man, tell us what are your feelings about that? So Dapper Dan, much like you, basically had the eye, and then how New York was. They basically shut him down. The industry shuts him down. And then they had the vision to actually bring him back. So talk about coming full circle. He actually is working for Gucci now. He
works for Gucci, yeah.
And so, what's your take on that?
He's a stylist for Gucci. Yeah, he's on the board of directors for Gucci right now. Yeah. After all that they did, they shut him down, put him out of business, cost him thousands of dollars, and now he's working for the man.
And I'm gonna pull up Kanye's boot, but Brian, break down as a designer and then someone who's in the game. Break down how when Kanye went off the famous "Tell Me Sway," how Sway, the famous how Sway rant, and when Kanye was kind of like basically rattling the fashion cage. I don't think the average person really understood how that had a big effect, because it was almost like the fashion industry, who had been taken from us for so long, was like, "Oh Lord, he about to spill the beans," and so because of that, it kind of caused a ripple in the fashion game, right?
Right. Kanye's a whole different beast, man. When you have the money to back your ideas, you can basically do whatever you want. You know what I mean? He's not trying to fit into anybody's box. He's not trying to conform. He's a billionaire. So what he wants to put out, he's going to put out. Either you're going to like it or you're not going to like it. And that's how he feels about it. He's not like, oh God, he's not like a starving artist. He's trying to conform. If he wants it, he's going to make it. Those boots are weird. They're. What would you wear them with?
Right.
Because
Right.
you can't have a pants leg that's going to go over top of it because it's going to be too big. We gonna stick your skinny jeans inside of it? Like, I don't know. What you gonna wear some leggings with it?
And so, Brian, what is it when you talk about consumers, though? Almost like it doesn't matter, right? At this point, they just buy it. Is it what is that about? What is that, Brian? What is that? I mean, because and there's brands like that. There's brands that I think Gucci and Louis Vuitton, at the end of the day, they could do whatever, and someone's gonna buy it because it is what it is. Balenciaga, what is that? What is that about? Is that just consumerism?
Most luxury brands you're actually paying for. You're not really paying for quality all the time. You're basically paying for the name. Back in the day, they started off with quality because Louis Vuitton, back in the day, those steam trunks, that's what they're made. That's what they started out, is doing steam trunks. They were actually handmade. Now, a lot of stuff is mass produced. It's not the quality, but they have the name now, and that's what you're paying for. You're paying for that name. You're paying to walk around with an LV on your chest or the double G's on your chest, and that's what you're paying for, bottom line.
And it's funny
And the funny thing about it is a lot of those high-end clothing lines, they all get their stuff manufactured in the same manufacturing plants as the Gap, as Old Navy, as, all those, all of them get the stuff made in the same manufacturers, the same plants.
Wow. Isn't that crazy?
Same material, same plants, yeah. You're just paying for the name.
So, Brian, did you design these? I pulled this off your site, off your post.
No.
You just like it.
Yeah, I'm an old school sneakerhead, man. I love Adidas Forms. I love Air Force Ones, and I like shell heads. I like top tens. I'm an old head. I'm a traditionalist. I like the roots. I like the old stuff now.
You know what? So Brian, and again, we were talking fashion, so I pulled something. You know how you pull something up, you'd be like, "Oh, damn, who knew?" So I pulled up a face, Brian, and I have a whole, me, I got a whole rant, a whole thought, and I'm curious to get your. So you know how, as Kanye's one of them, there's such a love for Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren has had a huge, almost an indelible mark in the industry, but also, see, right. And so the crazy part is, I pulled up a brother, Rashid Dilworth. Rashid Dilworth, you guys will recognize him. Now, this is him now. He's in his 70s. But basically, he was the brother with the beard who rocked the polo. You remember? I mean, he was one of the original models. And you may not recognize his face, but I just thought it was funny because the brother, he's one of the original brothers. There's another brother that I think you're probably thinking of, Brian, because he's more contemporary, but this guy goes all the way back to like 66. But I thought it was interesting that the polo brand, for whatever reason, connected with us. What do you think because really it's really that, back to that, it really is a traditional, almost American view, or just a traditional casual view, because when you look back at that picture I showed you from the 50s, it's really that. It really is this look right here, right?
Right.
And so Brian, why do you think it just, and not just color, it just kind of resonates with so many people?
I think because polo is timeless. You can get a polo shirt today and you can wear it for the next 30 years. As long as it doesn't fall apart, polo is definitely time. It's an American brand. It's blue jeans, polo shirts, button-ups, sweaters, just things that people wear every day. And his price point is a little high for the average person. However, he does have a couple different sub companies under him. You have Chaps, RL, Ralph Lauren, Rugby. Then you have Purple Label. You have Black Label. So he hits all classifications of people. And his stuff is, like I said, it's timeless. You know what I mean? I have polo shirts I had here almost 20 years old. And you can't tell if I bought it today or yesterday. It's a timeless line. And he's like Kanye. He stays true to himself. He doesn't go up and down. If he does Western clothes, he's going to do a Western line the same way every year. If he does the varsity line, The varsity line is going to be the same way, same color palette every year, and you can go back and buy the same thing. I know I had this one yellow polo shirt. I know I bought about 10 of them so far. Same color, same man. It's when one wear out, I know I can go to the store and get another one. It doesn't change, and that's how he's cloning the market.
And
it's just timeless.
It's surprising how like you said, it's lasted since it seems like the beginning of time. And I was the part I was trying to say, let me see if I can show it here. Yeah, it's interesting. Even like, you know, with all the new people come and the new generations come, they still seem to have that same kind of love, you know, for polo. And so
it's rooted in ground. It's rooted in hip hop, first of all. You know, because back in the day when we were younger, you know, we all strived to wear hip hop in high school. You know, if you had a polo man on, you were doing it in high school. And once you grew up, you know, it's just like I said, it's a timeless line. It was just something that you always wanted. And you can never go wrong with the polo shirt.
This is the guy that I'm talking about. So ironic, Rasheed Dilworth was one of our first black models ever. He hooks up with polo back then, and now he's in his 70s. But this, you probably remember this look. That's the brother I'm talking about.
Yeah. I know him.
So who knew that, you know, he was like one of the first polo models ever. And ironically, he said
old school,
he's from Massachusetts. He said his parents are Jamaican. So he said actually that style was the style he grew, those sweaters, and that's what he grew up with.
Right.
So it was just a natural fit.
It's classic.
So it's almost like this guy brought it to us, and then, you know, it's just amazing. It's that loop of fashion. And so, you know, so Brian, again, I know people want to know, how can they contact you, order from you? It is dress season, and I'm vouching for this brother right here. He's got a beautiful eye. You know, he ain't no jive dude. And so how can people reach you, Brian?
Contact number is 443-810-8014. Email is brianthetailer@gmail.com. You can me up on Instagram, Facebook, and everything is under Brian the Tailor. Call me, let me know what you got. You know, send me a picture. Send me a picture which one. I can duplicate it. I can come up with my own. I can bring you in. We can sketch it out. I do it a little bit of everything.
Brian, and see, again, I told you it'd be painless. You did a great job, brother. Have a great weekend, my friend. And thanks, man. Thanks for spending some time with us, man. Have a great weekend, okay?
Man, it's my pleasure, man. My pleasure.
All right.
All right, Mark. I'll see you later, man.
Okay, take care. Everybody have a great weekend. If you're watching this at another time, hey, have a great day. And again, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're going to have a fat week next week, and everybody be